Hello and welcome to SquishiVision. The Doctor Who trailer just dropped. I mean, we were expecting it. They announced yesterday that they were going to drop the trailer today. So I didn't know what time, but they said they're going to drop it today. This is a long-awaited trailer for the Power of the Doctor centenary special, I think, where there has been extraordinarily little promotional material. Very, very little. To people like TARDIS posting, the group that TARDIS posting, people like Mr. TARDIS reviews, they've commented a lot on really how not great it's been, considering this is one of the BBC's flagship shows. But it's here, and I don't think I particularly want to wait much longer. So let's give this a review, a watch.
Hello, Doctor. Welcome to the end of your existence.
A dozen of the world's leading seismologists have gone missing. 15 of the world's most valuable paintings have disappeared.
What's a landing? 9.9!
Can I let you in on a little secret?
A direct incursion on Earth is imminent.
Has it never occurred to you that it could be a trap?
This is the day you are erased forever. Bit of a conversation stopper.
It's incredibly dangerous.
It's a really bad idea.
Anything could happen. I don't want it to end. Yes!
Don't forget to click below and subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel.
Okay, well, yeah, that's a trailer. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm older. There wasn't really that kind of whole sense of wow about it, but I mean, trailers are hard things to do, and clearly they've not really cared much about marketing this in the first place. So let's but that being said, there are some very interesting components of this that I do actually want to delve into. So let's go bit by bit and talk about kind of stuff that I see.
Hello, Doctor.
Okay, so I've just realised actually from that
Welcome
shot
to
that we see there.
Hello, Doctor.
Sorry. They're above the train. So there's like maybe it's a train heist. We all love a good train heist. Maybe there's a train heist where they've got to break into a train. That's kind of actually something exciting to look forward to. I don't actually know how long this episode's meant to be. Doctor Who specials aren't normally that long, not in terms of feature length stuff anyway. But that's the train they later jump on anyway.
Hello, Doctor. Welcome to the end of your existence.
And we get a very Rasputin looking Sacha Darwin playing the Master, returning from the last time we saw him at the end of the season before last. When they're escaping from Gallifrey. This is at odds with what we see later on when they're clean shaven, so I'm assuming this is possibly the first time we see them and they've been like somewhere for a while, so they've not had a chance to shave. Normally that's kind of what they do with Time Lords when they're sure they've not been when they've been kind of kept somewhere for a long period of time. They kind of make them look disheveled and have a lot of facial hair. So that's where we are with that. Obviously he's being a bit threatening, and Sacha Darwin's a brilliant master.
A dozen of the world's leading
Your existence. Hello, Doctor. Welcome to the end of your existence.
And so later on he talks about how this is the day they're going to erase the Doctor, which, I mean, as far as threats go, is pretty, like, that just sounds like Tuesday for the Doctor. But we haven't been given really the full scope of what that is going to actually mean, as in, like, in what way are you going to erase the Doctor? But I mean, that was kind of the whole thing about the crack back in series 5, with so as far as threats go.
A dozen of the world's leading seismologists have gone missing. 15 of the world's most valuable paintings have...
So we get given some hook, I suppose, nothing particularly, like, I mean, this isn't a hook affecting characters that we know, so nothing there particularly to dig into. But this is, of course, Ace, who we last saw canonically, at least, I believe, in Survival, the final classic Who episode, and I don't think they've returned canonically since. They've obviously been a whole bunch of Big Finish stuff. I do believe Sophie Aldred, who plays Ace, wrote a book about what happened to Ace. I think lots of that happened to her expanded universe stuff is quite dark, so we hopefully don't get much of that here, but she's in a business suit looking very good in it. She possibly is here with Unit, as part of Unit. That would make more sense. It's something I can see Ace going into. Ace is one of my favorite companions. I think Ace is probably my first favorite companion, Surgeon. I think Ace is tied with Donna, possibly. So it's a great to see kind of Ace back again.
Have disappeared.
To run some sort of BBC quarry. Like, again, nothing here much to go. I don't know if the spaceships in the background are meant to be Cyberman ones. They do have that kind of motif to them, but they could be just any generic. A lot of Doctor Who aliens have that kind of style and glow. It's very Tron. And here we see some of the budget for the episode. I mean, it's not hugely great, but it's good for TV. Oh, a skyscraper exploding. I don't know if this is this might be in America.
What's a landing? 9.9!
I do like Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. I don't like Jodie Whittaker's chemistry. No, I don't like the chemistry of the companions with the Doctor. It never really felt grounded enough. And I don't think the companions have really worked. I think that's what let down most by this era is the companions, I think. And that good, but then again, I've never really been live or die by the sword when it comes to the companions, so
Can I let you in on a little secret?
A target.
interesting that actually, let me just try. I was gonna say, one, interesting that she's got good trigger discipline, but actually I think her finger is on the trigger, so maybe not. But then again, she is a British cop, ACAB. She's got a pistol aimed at the Master. Is the state of what's it called? Oh, I'm blanking. Unit. Temporal Grace, that's the thing. The talisman meant to be a state of temporal grace, which when you break down the words doesn't actually sound like it means what it should mean. But anyway, which means that weapons shouldn't be able to fight, should be a very safe place. Unclear if that's been. I mean, it's also that's generally the situation, but also it's kind of not been a situation a whole bunch of times for like various reasons or no reasons, and so possibly that's the reason here. Possibly they didn't think to address it. Possibly it's been turned off. But somehow Yaz has got a pistol and is aimed at the Master. Does Yaz seem like the person, after all she's gone through, who would hesitate to put a bullet in his head? I don't think she would, considering like her demeanor and like how dark she quite is and a lot of things. I wouldn't put Yaz. I mean, also she's a cop. Just saying.
Incursion on Earth is imminent.
So there's some kind of
Can I let you in on a little secret?
thing happening here where a Dalek is, I don't know, maybe either this is a transmission that she's getting from a Dalek, or a particular Dalek is contacting her. I see a lot of like some scars, like cracks in the arm, I think, unless it's something else behind the hologram, which makes it damaged Dalek. I can't. Does Whittaker's Doctor have a friendship with a Dalek? I can't remember. I know obviously Capaldi had Rusty. Tennant's Doctor had a sort of thing that sounds like it's a romantic thing. No, but he had a kind of connection with there was a Dalek Khan. Was he the one who survived? Whichever one survived. Kind of, but not really a thing. Can't. It feels like a thing Whittaker's Doctor would do. Have a friendship with a Dalek. Like there was with in a previous episode, but I can't remember. It could actually equally just be Rusty. I don't think they really had a thing happen to them. Anyway, but yeah, so we're gonna get I guess this is a series special. You kind of want the Daleks back. You kind of want the Cybermen back. It would make sense for them, both of them, to come back. So yeah, that's they're in this. I don't know if that's new news or not, but that's what we got. I mean, the hologram of a Dalek has like a hologram view of the Doctor through their own iris, which is weird. This shot looks not terrible. It looks like a fully CGI shot, and that's not something you tend to get in Doctor Who. I don't think a huge amount. But not clear. This is clearly a previous thing from the previous parts when they're trying to jump onto that train. So they're pushing this rope ladder out of the TARDIS. And they're about to climb off. That's the guy from the Flux. Who I can't remember the name of. See if I can just quickly type the name. Bell Prentice. Bell, was it Bell? No, Bell was his wife, wasn't it? What's the guy's name? Oh, this is not a friendly website. Let's see the. I literally cannot remember this character's name. My brain has kind of just been full of whatchamacall. Come on, casting. Vinder, that's his name. Yeah, so that's Vinder back. Also, TARDIS is like glowing red, but by this point in the history, that can basically mean anything, really. Trying to scan stuff, his hairstyle has changed, but I do recognize that as Vinder. So he's clearly back in this episode, which I mean, I guess fine. I mean, he was barely a big player in the Flux. He's not really a big player in the history of Doctor Who. I think that's the risk with this episode, is they potentially are gonna put. Do we know how long this episode is? Right, I need to check that up. The power of the Doctor, because I can't imagine it's gonna be much. I can't imagine it's gonna be more than like an hour. I don't think. Okay, they've not released. Well, not even released the date. Maybe the date. To release actually the date. It's not in this episode, is it? Do we know the date of this yet? Has that actually been released? I think that's the other thing. How because we don't know the date. We both don't know the running time. Date. That's not the right episode. Release date. Okay, they have released a date. Probably not this trailer, but they've released a date. 23rd of October is when they're releasing this episode, which I feel like I'm going to be home, but we'll address that in the time. Have they said the running order at all? Running. Wait, so this is the centenary special. Oh, 23rd of October is, yeah, and this is so yeah, right, okay. I don't think they released a running time, but this is 23rd of October, which is a year and a month between for the 60th special, which is next year. But yeah, this is the centenary special. But yeah, the issue. I mean, I imagine it's gonna be an hour-long special, much like the previous specials that we see from Doctor Who. Traditionally, maybe a bit more than an hour, maybe a bit less than an hour. I'd be disappointed if it's less than an hour, maybe it might be. So I think the risk here, as always, is they're gonna put too much into it. And I feel like Vinter is almost certainly gonna be someone we don't really need to see this episode. But I mean, maybe that's me being a bit too critical.
It never occurred to you that it could be a trap.
Again, I mean, that's good trailer dialogue, but canonically, pretty much nearly everything with Doctor goes through its trap, and I imagine that actually might be their rebuttal. This is a good visual. I like the whole kind of Joker laughing ha 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 on the TARDIS. I mean, it's certainly not the first time this kind of happened. I think that Bad Wolf is what springs to mind when I think what was the episode? Turn Left at the end, Turn Left, all the visuals. I never actually got explained why that happened, but that happened. And I think maybe once another time. Actually, no, I don't think it has happened another time. But yeah, so that's clearly, and I feel this is clear the mechanisms here of the Master. But that's a good visual. That's a good kind of. I think that would work as a good piece of art in itself. And there's this CGI stuff, which look, don't judge me for playing Fortnite. It's a good, easy, casual game if you wish to waste 10-15 minutes and not want to think too much. Okay, that's why I play it. I'm not kid. Why am I justifying myself to you? I don't need to justify what I play to you. You're not my mum or my friends or whatever. Having friends. The point I was trying to make is this looks like the 0 point in Fortnite, and I can admit I wouldn't put it past Fortnite to have a to make a tie-in with Doctor Who, because it seems to be literally claiming everything else as popular culture. So maybe this is their way of saying, hey, Doctor Who is going to continue on Fortnite. Get Fortnite and everyone's going to collectively just go on a murderous rage. No, I don't think that's what it is, but I'm not sure it's particularly... Is this Gallifrey? I've just noticed the kind of spires, and they're very Gallifreyan, but they might not be. It's hard to tell. I mean, it's lacking Gallifrey's distinct orange, but if you remember last time on Gallifrey, they kind of exploded an entire life-ending bomb, and who knows what that could do. I don't know. I mean, yeah, and Gallifrey does tend to have like a lot of planets very visible, like large celestial bodies in the sky. This might be Gallifrey. This might be something to do with Gallifrey, but it's hard to really tell.
This isn't the day you are erased forever.
I mean, again, that's like Tuesday for the Doctor. This appears to be, let me get a brighter shot of that bit there.
You are erased.
So this appears to be Earth. Harris is very bad at geography. Because I'm swear that's whatever. I'm assuming it's Earth. Yes, 27-year-old Harris Qureshi cannot recognize the globe of the planet he lives on. And that's, well, maybe that is Earth. Maybe it's two Earths. That actually looks more like Earth than that. The one that's more damaged. That's a bit concerning. But I mean, this is actually kind of a cool visual. I don't think we've ever seen this in Doctor Who before. Two planets that close together launching missiles. Although, scientifically speaking, and I don't know if they're going to address this in the episode, if two bodies of that nature would go that close to each other, I think the missiles are the least of your concerns. I think you're really going to be more worried about the enormous gravitational pull and the fact that they're both almost certainly about to collide and explode and destroy everything and everything in both. I don't really think your concerns are kind of... There's mushrooms in the foreground. That's interesting. But yeah, no, this is a decent shot. I just would love to know the context behind it. As far as trailers go, I know trailers aren't meant to give you full context because why would you watch a show? But they're not really setting up... I mean, except the hook. I guess except stakes. They've not... But for series specials, they've not... Like, if you remember... I don't actually know if they did much trailers for the Day of the Doctor. I don't actually think there was a huge... It's hard to tell because I have a lot of nostalgia for earlier Doctor Who trailers, but that represented a different part of my life where, for one, I wasn't living on my own in a flat watching TV on a computer screen in a computer chair. That was a time in my life where I sat down with a meal in a warm room, sometimes with family, and I watched Doctor Who, and I talked about it with my friends the week after. And so trailers were like a bigger thing in my life then, because it was like a part... I was like, oh, I get to have this part of my life again. I don't think my passion for Doctor Who has died, but I think a mixture of me growing up, Doctor Who becoming less of a novelty, you know, becoming more of its kind of, you know, nerd status, a whole mixture of an overabundance, and the move to the streaming platforms. I think the whole you know, this is me going off tangent here, but I think the whole way TV consumption has changed as a thing has changed a lot of things. And so, I mean, so I think what I'm feeling is I'm missing that kind of core excitement, but I don't know if that's a problem with the trailers or with Doctor Who, or if that's just you know, you get old and time passes and etc etc. Sorry about that existential bit of pessimism. Let's go back to the trailer.
Bit of a conversation stopper.
I mean, that's a... Oh, I probably should stop on a blank screen. That's a pretty, like, nice... That's funny. It's quirky. It's the master that he's playing in the previous one, and he's doing very well at it. That's definitely Earth. I recognize that as Earth. I do. I'm not that blind to my own planet. And then we have some sort of Death Star-ish, and this is the moon. I mean, maybe someone's hijacked the moon, and it launches a kind of Death Star. Well, actually, this is more Xindi super weapon from Star Trek. Weapon at Earth. And we don't really see the impact of it clearly in that shot. We see we see pretty much that. We don't know how much damage it does. We don't know if it's doing damage or if it's just a beam. It might destroy some of the countries, and maybe that's why we see a bit more damaged Earth in the earlier bit, which is a pretty high stake. And I mean, Earth has been destroyed before, but only like in the sense of the future. This is the present, and if it gets destroyed here, I can't imagine the episode ending in any other way other than the Doctor having to do something to kind of get the Earth back to its normal state. That's the kind of stakes I see where we're at now. I see a whole bunch of people watching this, by the way. Feel free to like comment your own views while I'm talking if you're still watching. It'd be nice to kind of hear from people who are watching this. Ashad, I forget how to pronounce his name. He's back, which is interesting because he died. Is this a previous version? Is this an alternate version? Did he actually not die? Was he able to resurrect himself? I mean, he is part Cybermen, so maybe being shrunken doesn't affect Cybermen as much as it affects real people. But I'm kind of glad he's back because like he was massively wasted at the end of the season before the last. He was one of the most compelling Doctor Who villains in both his writing, his dialogue, his portrayal, and he got killed off a bit too soon. But the haunting of something Villa is I think one of the better kind of Doctor Who episodes in recent years. So I'm glad he's back. It's really interesting what the kind of context behind it is. Okay, so we see that kind of creature again, but this time they're not in that kind of orb. I have just spotted something. I might have to move it aside because I'm in the way. There's two TARDISes. There's a TARDIS there, and there's a TARDIS way over there. There's someone running, and I can't see who it is who's running. I was hoping to see a flap of a long coat that indicated it was the Doctor, but I can't tell in a brief shot. So, pretty sure it's still Earth in the Earth up there. Those ships are very round, which are usually Centenary ships, but I don't think that's the case here. I think that's just a coincidence. So not sure what celestial body this is. I guess it could be the moon, it could be what we saw earlier, it could be a completely different body that's appeared. But there are two TARDISes, which is interesting. Possibly Martin's Doctor is in this episode, and they brought their own TARDIS. I just got a notification on my phone. For some reason it's from the Daily Mail. Don't know why, because I'm pretty sure I told my phone not to give me Daily Mail notifications. But it was Daily Mail via Google. But Bonnie Langford is apparently Tony's Doctor too. Bonnie Langford played Mel, which was another McCoy Doctor companion. So that's very interesting. Is that in this special? Because that would be interesting if not a bit more crowded. Maybe we'll see her in this. I don't think I saw her. I would have commented. But maybe we'll see. Maybe she was very brief and I need to kind of pause on a shot and look at her. But yeah, two TARDISes. And then that creature, that Fortnite, that 0 point creature, is shooting a beam which we see similar to the beam we just saw a couple of shots ago. So maybe they're one of the villains, maybe they're kind of using this planet body to kind of attack Earth. Who knows? And here we see, so this is again probably the train heist thing. They're going really fast, they're all flying all over the place. I mean, Doctor Who's really fond of these whole wire work in CGI areas recently, aren't they? This is Ace parachuting down London. There's the shard in the background, and she's wearing her iconic jacket, and it seems to be over her suit. I think someone commented that they hope that she has a reason to wear her jacket that isn't as fan service, because it's weird that she would be wearing it. I saw someone comment on one of the Doctor Who fan groups I'm in. I don't think I particularly mind. I can fully see someone who makes that the entire aesthetic still holding that coat. She does also have on the back of her on her back a baseball bat, which Ace famously had in remembrance of the Daleks. I don't know if she carried it around otherwise, and it was imbued with the power of Omega, the hand of Omega, which allowed her to kind of beat up a Dalek. A lot of people forget that's what happened, and they assume that she just was able to beat up a Dalek and they complain about it. So I'm hoping they haven't forgotten here, but that's what the character was. But obviously that was one-off thing, so this shouldn't be any special unless she somehow made it more special. Which again, isn't something unlikely for Ace to do. I also hope that Ace brings her Nitro 9 cans, because that would be a nice callback. And here we have Tegan played by name forgotten. I'll remember in a second. Played by Janet Fielding, who was a companion of Davidson's Doctor, and she's returned, which is interesting. I mean, Tegan's whole deal was she left the Doctor because she was sick of all the death and the violence, and so it would be fascinating to see if we revisit that perspective that she had then. She's clearly still in the fight, working alongside Ace. She looks like she's part of unit still. She's wearing similar kind of blue colours and formal wear. And they're shooting at the Cybermen. There's Ashad there in the background. So clearly they could risk as well.
It was a really bad idea!
It's incredibly dangerous.
It was a really bad idea!
Anything.
I think that's Binder speaking there.
It was a
That looks like Binder's ship as well. So are we gonna see Bell there? Because I'm gonna be addressed, but whatever. And then, okay, so that looks like the body, which I guess at this point I don't think is the moon. Although it looks like a body that's kind of been, like the Daleks often do, turned into like a ship of itself, or maybe it's just a very round ship. I mean, it looks like that ship from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
bad idea!
Anything could happen.
This is them being shot by Daleks.
I don't want it to end.
And something is...
I don't want it to end.
So there's a couple of shots there which are not... I guess not by them at all.
I don't want it to end.
Ship. Climbing. Yeah, there's nothing... There was 2 shots which I guess I had to fill time because I don't really give much detail. Something is... tractoring Earth? Unclear. A lot of these things are like things that happened in the past. So, you know, people shooting at Earth, people trying to drag Earth away. And then Daleks. And then Doctor Who. So yeah, we get...
I don't want it to end.
So what's interesting about this? Also, I really hope the Doctor's last words in this incarnation aren't Yaz. Really, really hope that's not the case. Also, this means Yaz is with her with them when they regenerate. Is that there's a reason Yaz is gonna leave is because they don't want to stick around with the new Doctor because they're not in their fancy anymore, because that's gonna be weird. It's interesting that we're seeing the regeneration, assuming this is regeneration, in the trailer, because in the past that's never happened. Every time we've seen the regeneration in the trailer, I think so. That ever happened once actually. It was when Capaldi did this fake regeneration in that 2-parter in his final series. Every other time, so we've never seen a regeneration in the trailer, and it's usually something they want to save. Like they don't want to reveal that for episode broadcast because they want you to kind of experience the entire thing in brand new fresh eyes. So it's interesting they put it in. I don't know if that's because this isn't the actual regeneration or if it's a way to attract more views. Not massively sure there. And then Doctor Who. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this trailer. Again, there's not much in it, but that's the situation of trailers these days. We have a date now, which is 23rd of October. So they waited about 2 weeks before it's launching to actually bother to tell us when to give us any kind of promotional material on it, which is a bit embarrassing, but sure. Let us know what you thought in the comments. I'm gonna go back to clear my emails because I've decided not to have any breakfast until I've cleared my emails, and now it's 2 o'clock and I've not had my breakfast. Maybe I'll just clear the current emails and then I'll have breakfast. That's probably a wise thing to do. So thanks for checking this out, and I will see you guys later on when I watch Rings of Power.